Hey folks, welcome back to another Poem video, and with the new Synchreds for Feraligator, Ethan, Typhlosion, and Lyra Meganium coming out, let's go over one of these three Synchreds in this video, right? Being Feraligator. So I already did a showcase video on Feraligator, so if you guys want to actually check that out, you could find it somewhere on the channel. It's okay. It's okay. It's an okay-ish unit, right? I mean, it's never. I always thought people kind of underrated Feraligator. Because there are a few things that people always point to when they criticize Feraligator. One is low physical attack, which is true. This is very, very low, 250, that's terrible. And obviously the accuracy issue on Mega Kick. But Mega Kick does a lot of damage. That kick has, like, insane base power. And as long as you support Feraligator well, like, this thing does really, really good damage. Yeah, and you know, it's the pick up the pace thing. Not the best trainer move, unfortunately. Guaranteed hit, guaranteed crit is not as good as +1 crit, +1 accuracy, right? But it does also give you speed as well, which is pretty decent on it. Waterfall is a really good, you know, non-3 gauge move, right? It has endurance, which is cool. So overall, I never thought it was that bad as people said. But obviously it had its deficiencies. But anyways, let's go over this unit as it is now with its new Syncret expanded. So of the three Johto Sync pairs, I do think this one, Feraligator, and Feraligator's my favorite of the three, right? I really love alligators and crocodiles in general, and Feraligator is awesome. But I do think his Syncret got shafted. It's not bad. It's just not, you know, in comparison, like the other two just got like insane upgrades. This is just, it built upon its base grid and just made what Feraligator was. It kept it the same, but better. It just upgraded on what Feraligator was, which is fine, right? But like Ethan and Lyra just got like completely transformative, you know, Synchreds. But doesn't mean Feraligator is terrible. It's fine. It's just nothing incredibly special. It's just what Feraligator was, but better, I guess. So, anyways, let's get into this. As usual, starting out with 1 out of 5. Just pick up everything that does not have Waterfall in its name, unless you want to run like a Waterfall flinch kind of build, right? You pick up everything not named Waterfall, and there you go. You're left with 1 energy left. If you want to do Waterfall, then you can do that. Obviously, just pick up everything that's not named Mega Kick, right? There's that as well, and there you go. You know, left with 4 energy. So, anyways, again, as usual, not much to talk about here. 2 out of 5. Feraligator's 2 out of 5 is actually very, very good. Because you do have access to like some of the best nodes on his grid, being like stuff like Haymaker. And again, you already have Mega Kick, a move gauge refresh, but it's, you know, just some more Mega Kick power-ups, right? So I do think his 2 out of 5 grid is really, really good. So just pick up all the Mega Kick stuff over here on the top. It's kind of weird that they have like Mega Kick nodes on the top right side and then like bottom left side, and it's just not, you know, all in one side. But we do have a decent amount of power-ups and stuff, so that's always nice. So come down here, pick up all the way up to Haymaker. And as for the rest, it really depends on you, right? If you don't have any accuracy supports, definitely want to pick up the accuracy +5, right? If you don't, then, you know, it's not as big of a deal. If you don't have any good physical supports, maybe the MP refresh on X attack, right? But if you have something like that, then obviously you don't need to pick that up. And as for some other stuff, if you want, you could pick up Fleet Feet, right? Which is, you know, extra +1 speed when used, pick up pace, which is nice, but nothing, you know, crazy, right? But outside of that, there really isn't much to pick up. Obviously, you know, pick up the pace MP refreshes if you really need that. But, you know, this is just the basis you want to build off of. After you pick up all this stuff, you have 60 more energy. Depends on what you're facing. Depends on what mode you're doing, right? If you're doing Villa, then you obviously would want more of this MP refresh stuff, right? Maybe, you know, drop one of these extra things that you don't exactly need, and then pick up, you know, the MP refreshes. Or if you're going all out, then there's no point pick up any of these and just go for, like, I guess stats or whatever, extra speed if you want, right, over here. So again, it just depends on what you're facing, all that stuff. Going to 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5, you don't have much. You know, extra good stuff that you've got, you know, in 2 out of 5 that you haven't really gotten, right? You do have First Aid 4, which is not the extra accuracy +5, right? Build up is not great. Power reserve is not good. Unyielding is it's okay, but I don't really think it's worth that much, right? I think it's what, 10 energy, right? 12 energy? Really? Okay, no, you don't want to pick that up. I mean, it is 2, but like, damn, you're a striker. Come on. As for some other stuff, not that it really makes that much of a difference if you're a striker versus support when you're enduring hits, but still. Dynamic entries, whatever. Waterfall aggravation is nice if you want to run a waterfall grid, right? With ramming speed, you could actually make that a pretty interesting kind of grid. But anyways, let's get back to the Mega Kick thing first, right? So Mega Kick, basically everything is the same for here at first, and then after this you got some options. You could pick up first aid if you want. First aid is really good to pick up, right? It's first aid 4, so pick up the first aid. And then Mega Kick power up, and then maybe, a sync move power up, because you do have Haymaker, right? So if you want, you could do something like this. This is obviously, the grid you want to go for if you don't have to worry about MP refreshes, don't have to worry about, all that stuff. Accuracy, you got accuracy supports, physical supports, all that stuff. You can go all out, right? There's probably, something that you would want to look at, right? If you are struggling with accuracy issues, if you don't have an accuracy buffer and you don't want to rely on pick up the pace, which you probably shouldn't, right? You have a lot of good options. You could pick up accuracy +5 over here, maybe drop first aid, I guess, and then the other accuracy +5. The thing that I don't like about this accuracy +5 is it's 5 accuracy for 8 energy, and the 8 energy, like, it gives you +10 accuracy on Mega Kick. That it +10 brings you to like 85% accuracy, which is still not good, right? Because without this, obviously it's much worse, right? It's 75, but it's just bring an accuracy support, man. And if you really just don't have an accuracy support, maybe just go like pick up the pace, MP refresh instead. Does lower your DPS because like, again, if you pick up the accuracy nodes, you're still only at 85% accuracy, and then pick up the pace does guarantee you the hits. You do use 1 extra turn on that, but if you miss a Mega Kick, that's 1 turn gone. Plus, it saves you from bringing any more, crit supports either, and also pick up the pace also gives you the luxury of getting a crit on your sync move, which in combination with Haymaker is a very, very good thing, I would argue, right? So, and if you do have accuracy issues, maybe just pick up the paces instead, and then extra sync damage over here or whatever. So that's what you probably could run with Feraligator, right? In general, if you want to go Mega Kick build, you guys also have a really nice waterfall build that you could go with. Like I mentioned before, I think waterfall's decent on Feraligator. The reason why I say decent and not like really good in comparison to, I think Sharpedo is the other one that has like, if you compare these two strikers that use waterfall that could turn into flinching units, right? Feraligator and where is Sharpedo, right? Sharpedo also has waterfall, and does Sharpedo, yeah, it also has aggravation on waterfall as well, aggravation 1. The big difference between these two is Sharpedo just is overall better. It's an overall better unit, much more speed, right? And that's not even Mega, right? Once you Mega it, actually, well, if you Mega, you don't have waterfall. Never mind. But if you don't have it at Mega, 322 attack, 356 speed, and like you compare it to Feraligator, right? You're already dealing with a low base power move, and like your physical attack is like that low. It really doesn't compensate, right, in comparison. I really wish they give him more attack up nodes on his grid, but it's okay, I guess. He got like a decent amount of Mega Kick power ups, like 6 of these. It helps, but yeah, again, back to waterfall, right? Pick up waterfall stuff, move gauge refresh on waterfall aggravation 1, waterfall ramming speed, got an extra 30% damage on your waterfall, more waterfall stuff, and then you're down to how much? 18 energy, right? Pick up Haymaker, And there you go. You got some extra damage on your sync move as well. And since you do have Waterfall as your main damage output move, you don't have to worry too much about gauges. You should generally have no problem getting to your sync move without losing a step at all in terms of move queue, right? So that would be something that you probably would want to bring up. If you really want to go with something like Power Reserve Unyielding, you could do that. It's just very, very hard, and you're it's a big gamble. It's a big gamble, right? And again, you really don't get that much stuff from it just because these cost so much, right? Like, I'd rather just not do that. It's only extras 20%, and you just get more from like your sync move on Haymaker instead, even though again your sync move isn't the best just because of your relatively low attack stat. But yeah, I don't like this stuff. But anyways, that's me with this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoy this video. Subscribe to the channel for some more Puzzle Masters content. I'll see you guys in the next one.